Hi there, my name is Alex Genedinik, and what you're about to see is a full course on Amazon dropshipping that I uploaded onto YouTube for absolutely free, so you don't have to buy anything. And what this course is going to show you is how to find great and profitable products to sell, how to maximize your profits on your dropshipping sales, and much, much more. The video is long because it's a full course, so what you'll sometimes hear is me saying, in this video, we'll do this, and in this video, we'll do this. That's just me taking all the little 5-minute lectures or 2-minute lectures and adding them into this one course. So this course, by the end of this video, it will be as though you've taken an entire course, and you will be able to upload your products to Amazon, research products professionally, find out of the sea of Amazon products the most profitable ones, and also win the buy box. The buy box on Amazon is that on the top right, that little box. And if you appear as the main seller, then your products are going to sell. So we're going to do that and much, much more in this course. So enjoy and let's begin. Now let's go over what exactly is dropshipping. And to help us understand what exactly dropshipping is, we have to understand the traditional business model first. Traditionally, you as the seller would store the inventory. You can either create it or buy it somewhere else, but you have the inventory. And when the order is made, you, the seller, delivers the inventory to the buyer. Whether it's delivery firsthand by you actually making the delivery or you shipping it. And you as the seller, you're responsible for acquiring the inventory, storing the inventory, delivering the inventory, and customer support, all of that. This is all very, very, very costly, very time consuming. To scale, you have to hire a number of staff. It's very challenging. And this is where dropshipping is great, because in dropshipping, the manufacturer or the wholesaler or another retailer acquires and handles the products. You never touch the products. And just to unpack that, you see I have 3 different roles here: manufacturer, wholesaler, or another retailer. The manufacturer can be the direct manufacturer of a product. For example, they create a product in a factory and they can ship from the factory right to the consumer. A wholesaler might be another third party who buys a large number of products from the manufacturer and stores it and can ship large numbers of products. Sometimes those wholesalers or those manufacturers ship their products to another retailers like Best Buy or any other retailer. With dropshipping, we can use any of those 3 types of roles. We can either order products directly from the manufacturers or from other retailers or from wholesalers who hold large numbers of inventory. But the great distinction is they hold the products, not you. You as the dropshipper, you have a different role. You see, the dropshipper is the middle person who finds the right price for arbitrage opportunities. Arbitrage simply means that if you can find a higher price at which to sell a product and a lower price at which to buy the product, you keep the difference as a profit. But again, you never handle inventory, you just take pure profits. Because you never have to spend money on buying the inventory, holding the inventory, storing the inventory, shipping the inventory, all those million things. And that makes dropshipping a fantastic business model with many advantages. One of the main advantages is that it's cheaper and less risky to start, because imagine if you had to acquire a large amount of inventory to send to FBA or to store somewhere in your own warehouse. Well, you might have to spend thousands of dollars, and many people do that, and many people lose that money. I know that because I've coached them in the past, and I've heard the horror stories. This is why dropshipping is easier and simpler and less risky. And of course, many of the challenging and, let's be honest, boring parts of the business, like shipping the product, handling inventory, that's all done for you. And you have flexibility in how you run your business. You can spend fewer work hours on your business because so much is done for you. And actually, you can have flexibility where you live because you don't actually have to physically handle or ship the product from a certain location. you can live anywhere in the world and do this all through just being online. So dropshipping can be almost entirely passive income and almost entirely location independent, which is the dream of many people. So these are the advantages. But of course, you always want to get both sides of the picture. So there are some disadvantages to dropshipping. Arguably, the biggest disadvantage is that you are selling other companies' products and you're building other companies' brands, not yours. Because let's say you made something that's your own product, promoting that would be kind of like investing in your own future, building up your own brand. You don't get the opportunity to do that in dropshipping, although you do get the opportunity to make money right away, which is what most people want at the end of the day. Also, there are challenges with returns and customer support, because if clients say they never got the product, even if it's not your fault because you're not shipping the product, guess what? It's your fault. So at times, you will have to pay more for returns because Amazon will just about always side with the clients. And another challenge people face is that as the person in the middle, you have to play by the rules of two different companies. It's hard enough to play by the rules of Amazon, but in this case, you have to play by the rules and terms of service of two different companies. And it's not always easy to be constantly aware of their change in terms of service and constantly compliant. Of course, you have the best intentions in mind, but it does add an extra challenge. So hopefully now you have a fair view, an overview of what dropshipping is, what its advantages are, and certainly what its disadvantages are, so that if it's not for you, you don't get into the wrong business. I want to start out by giving you a few useful definitions that will help you on your dropshipping journey. So the first term we all want to be aware of is fulfillment. We've all heard of it, but it's kind of a confusing term. What is it exactly? Well, it's the entire process of getting an order delivered to a customer. So it's an umbrella term under which is product storage, product shipment, return handling, all of this. That's fulfillment. And of course, fulfillment becomes very, very important because you always have to consider who does the fulfillment. Is it Amazon? Is it you? There are so many different strategies around fulfillment. In our case, because we are drop shipping, the fulfillment will be done by our product suppliers, not us, not Amazon. That's important for us to understand in this course. So if you sell a product on Amazon and you're seen as the seller on Amazon, but let's say the product comes from Best Buy, for the most part, Best Buy handles all the fulfillment, but of course, some of the customer support will be handled by Amazon and some of it will be handled by Best Buy, depending on how you handle customer support. But the storage of the inventory and the shipment of the products will be handled by Best Buy. And once you understand what fulfillment is, the next thing we want to cover is what's FBA. You might have heard this acronym. It stands for Fulfillment by Amazon. That means that Amazon does the fulfillment. If you're a seller on Amazon, you ship your products to Amazon and Amazon stores the products in their warehouse. When the order is made, Amazon ships the product and Amazon handles the return and everything in between. And even though FBA is very popular, it doesn't offer us the flexibility we need. What we're going to do in this course is FBM, Fulfillment by Merchant. This is where the sellers store the products, ship the products, and handle returns. In theory, the merchant is you. But in dropshipping, obviously, the merchant is the third-party store, like Best Buy or any other store where you get the inventory. So this was an important distinction to make because many people are familiar with FBA, FBM, fulfillment, but vaguely. So it was important to define it and explain directly what we are going to do in this course. Now, let me quickly tell you the advantages of FBA and FBM. Let's start with FBA. First, the advantages of FBA are you get discounted and faster shipping. Once you ship a bulk amount of items to Amazon, they store that in their warehouse. It's cheaper for you to store inventory, but also you get faster shipping and cheaper shipping, usually. Also, of course, another advantage of FBA is that they handle everything: storage, shipping, returns, custom packaging that they even can do for you, and customer support requests. That's really tremendous. And at times, it's easier to get your product listed as an Amazon Prime listing if you go through the FBA process. So FBA does offer a lot of advantages. Now let's talk about the advantages of FBM, Fulfilled by Merchant, which is what we're going to do in this course. One of the main benefits is that you have more control of how and when you acquire inventory. Because the disadvantage of FBA is that you have to buy inventory ahead of time. That's risk. With FBM, and specifically with dropshipping, you don't have to acquire the inventory upfront, which is very good because you don't have to invest a lot of money and risk a lot of money. Because you don't have to acquire or store any inventory. The shipment gets made from the manufacturer or the third party. So you don't have to risk your own money to buy inventory. You only get the inventory once an order is made from you. And of course, unless you have specific additional requirements, you only ship once from the manufacturer or a reseller to the customer. Whereas in FBA, you ship twice. You ship to the FBA, to the warehouse, and then FBA ships to the customer. And depending on the complexities of the shipping, you may pay twice for the shipping. So you avoid the double shipping fees. But the greatest benefit of FBM that we are after is the flexibility of how you will acquire inventory and when. And the fact that you don't have to spend money up front to buy inventory. This is tremendous because many people run into this pitfall where they buy inventory, they're very excited, but if they cannot sell the inventory, well, they're not only stuck having lost the money that they bought the inventory with, but they're also stuck paying for storage. And you might think, oh, I'm just storing it at home. Yeah, but you're still storing it and it's making your home worse just because junk is lying around there. So the dropshipping method we'll do in this course will give you all these tremendous advantages. To be able to do dropshipping on Amazon, we will need to create an account on Seller Central of Amazon. And the URL to get there is sellercentral.amazon.com. You come here, and if you already have an account with this, of course, you just log in. If you don't have an account with this, you sign up. So I already have an account with this. This is going to be a dummy account. You want to sign up here right away because to get this account fully set up, you'll have a number of steps, like Amazon has to verify that you're a real person and that your address is correct, and etc., a few things. So it's not something you do within seconds. So to make sure that your entire dropshipping journey is not held up, I recommend you set this up right away as soon as you see this video. So let's do it together. I'll click sign up here. As I mentioned before, I already have an account with them. If you don't have an account, you actually click this little button here, create your Amazon account, and you'll provide your name. In my case, because I already have a real account, I don't want to confuse them. So I'm just going to give it a name like Alex Assistant. I'm going to give them a dummy email and a password, and I'll re-enter the password and click next. Now, of course, they send you something to your email to verify that it's the right email. You'll get that code. Here I got the email from them. Keep in mind, this is not my real email. This is kind of an email I use to create accounts and create videos. So I have a bunch of weird emails here. But Amazon did send me an email. I'll click that, and they send me a number here that I'm going to copy and paste into here just to verify that it's me. And then I'll say create your Amazon account. And there you go. Your Amazon Seller Central is created. Now, here's what this says. You need to provide your information and documents because they need to collect relevant personal and business information to comply with identification and verification measures. So here's what you'll need on the right side. A valid government ID or passport, recent bank account or credit statement, chargeable credit card, mobile phone. And then you click begin, and you'll go through the steps of providing all that. So you'll set up your basic information like your country, in my case it's United States, business type. For business type, you'll choose whatever makes sense for you. If you don't have a registered business, you can say none, I'm an individual. If you have an LLC, you can say privately owned business, and then you'll provide your business name, etc. and then you'll agree and continue. And then as you can see here, you'll go through steps 1, 2, 3, business information, seller information, billing, store, verification. And you'll go through all these setup steps. And at this point, whatever they show me will vary from what they might show you, because you might not have a business entity. You might be an individual. So you might not have a company registration number or different things like that. So whatever they ask of you, you provide that. And once you get through all these steps and the verification, you'll have your account set up. And after that, we'll be able to use that account in order to post products on Amazon so that you can then sell them as a dropshipper. So go ahead and complete your own registration. And keep in mind, it might take you minutes or tens of minutes to fill out these forms. And it might take some extra time for Amazon to do the verification on their part. And once you're done with all that, then you'll be able to begin posting products to sell on Amazon. In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up your RepriceHub from scratch. And this is going to be our main software that we're going to use to price our products, list our products, essentially do everything to automate as much as possible with our Amazon dropshipping. And this software, you can see the pricing, it isn't free. The starter package is $50 a month, but there is a free trial that's pretty long, 14 days. You can try for free. And that's what we're going to do here. So you don't have to pay anything up front, don't have to enter your credit card. So we're going to click on this 14-day free trial, and we're going to say register now. And then we're going to enter all our information, like our actual information. This email is a dummy email that I use to create course videos. In your case, of course, you'd use your real email. And then you click here, agree, and submit. Once you click submit, on the next screen, you'll see a screen like this, and it will give you a little message here, add your Amazon seller account to activate your free trial. That's what we're going to do. And this is going to take you to your Amazon Central account, which you just set up. And if you haven't yet, it's going to prompt you to upgrade your Amazon Seller Central account to the right type of an account so that you can sell on Amazon. And then you'll be able to move on to the next steps in RepriceHub to pull data from Amazon and other suppliers and begin listing products to sell on Amazon. And then I'm going to go ahead and click add Amazon account. It doesn't matter which button you click, this one or that one. So I'm going to click this one, and then it's going to ask me where I'm based. I'm going to say North America. Then I'm going to say choose. Then you give it a good store name, like Amazing Store or whatever your brand is going to be that you want. And then you're going to say wherever you are. I'm in United States. In my case, I'm going to say quality products. And then I'm going to say connect Amazon account. After that, as you can see, it took me to the Amazon Seller Central login screen where I enter my login and password and press submit. And after that, the next page that comes up is my Amazon Seller Central. Now you see there's a little error message. It's not exactly an error message. It's more like a prompt. And I'm going to zoom in so you can see what it says. You see it says, you're not permitted to take this action. You must be the primary user of a professional selling account, okay? We need a professional selling account to take advantage of apps. If you're the primary user, you may upgrade your plan. Click here to upgrade. So you go ahead and click that link they show you where that says click here to upgrade your plan. Then it's going to give you these instructions for how to actually upgrade your plan, and I'll walk you through it. So what I did is I opened another browser tab and I went to sellercentral.amazon.com, and then I clicked on the little gear icon on the top right, and then I selected account info, and under that you want to go on the left top side. You see seller account information. You want to click on your seller profile. So under seller information, then under the section called your services, on the right side, there's a little link, manage. So you do that. And then from this screen, you upgrade your account. And then in one of the top options under you are signed up for, you will see the link to upgrade. And this explains the benefits of the professional plan. And you just say proceed. So now when I click the gear icon and then click on account info, you see on the left side here under your services, it says selling on Amazon professional. That's what we wanted. So now that we've set up the professional plan, and by the way, that plan is $39.99, so it's not free. Then we go back to RepriceHub and we refresh. And you see that on the bottom there, it has my store connected, quality products. But because I had to upgrade and go through all these steps, I actually went ahead and removed this account and then added it just all over again. So I removed it, delete it, and then click on add Amazon account and go through the steps of choosing North America, where I'm from, etc. Then entering my store name, choosing that I'm from United States. And then when I click on connect to Amazon, my Amazon Seller Central loaded. And this page says RepriceHub requires access to view and edit the following data related to your seller partner account. And I just have to click I agree and submit. So I click agree and then confirm. And then it takes me right back to RepriceHub to my clean dashboard that I've just set up. So now I'm ready to add products. But right now we don't have a product we're going to add, so we'll add products later. But in this video, we just set up our RepriceHub and connected it to our Amazon Seller Central, then upgraded our Amazon Seller Central, connected all of it, and now we are ready to begin selling. With this video, let's begin our conversation about how to find the ideal products to sell as a dropshipper. And when you're looking at a product that you're evaluating, that you're potentially going to sell, the obvious question is it selling at all? And if it is, how many items are getting sold per day? And there are ways to tell precisely and imprecisely. Let's first look into the free options you have to gauge how much a product is selling. So on any product, here I chose socks, just regular plain old socks. It's a product that everybody understands. When you scroll down, what you'll see is any product on Amazon, when you scroll under the product details, you'll have this seller rank. And you see here it's number 7,208 in clothing, shoes, and jewelry category, and it's ranking in a number of other categories here. So you can tell it's selling pretty well. As a rule of thumb for me, when I evaluate products in this kind of a way, which is the least sophisticated way, you're kind of half ballparking it. When I look at it this way, if a product is in the top 10,000 in its main category, then I know it's selling successfully and quite well. And of course, the sales are quite exponential. Like the top 1,000 sells way more than the top 10,000th item. But I do know that it sells. Okay, great. Now you'll ask me, well, how do you tell the precise number? Because you want to know the precise number. Is it selling 3 pairs per day or 300? Well, you see, for that, you have to pay because there are tools, but they are paid. There are similar tools like you might have heard of Jungle Scout. You might have heard of Helium 10. They all have Chrome extensions. For example, I actually have the Helium 10 Chrome extension downloaded and turned on. You see this little box here. It appears there from the Helium 10 Chrome extension. And it tells you the listing score and the 30-day sales. You see, it can tell you exactly how many sales this product is making per day, but not for free. You've got to get the paid plan. Here is the Helium 10 pricing. You see there is a free plan, and you do get some things with the free plan, but not everything. So you can see that there is a $99 a month fee, which is not so expensive, but it's also not the cheapest thing in the world. So again, if you want to make best informed decisions, you would invest in a tool like this. But you also can just ballpark things. Because the great thing is in dropshipping, if a product is not making a lot of money for you and if it's not selling, it's not like you have to acquire the inventory and go through a million steps and it's challenging. We just turn a button on, off, and move on to the next product. So it's not a big risk to just try a product out. If you were to buy some inventory and invest a lot of money, then of course it's much more prudent to invest in a tool like Helium 10. But in our case, it's much less necessary. It's still helpful, but much less necessary. But the great thing is, look, you don't have to guess what sells well, because at the same time, you see, they give you a link to the very same category that this particular product is ranking number 7,208. Well, what's the number one product? You don't have to guess. You just click on the link. Oh, it's these. And this is the second product, and this is the third. So if you want to be in this niche, you just browse these products because you know they're going to sell really, really, really well. And of course, every once in a while, there's a tremendous promotion and some product sells like 1,000 items in one day, but then it doesn't sell other days. So to avoid that kind of a pitfall, you would just want to check this ranking for a few days in a row just to make sure that certain products stay up. Certain products will rank higher and lower. Some products will drop out of this list, but for the products that are consistently selling well here, well, then there you go. That would be a really great product to begin evaluating further. So in the next videos, we're going to do exactly that. We're going to go through the deeper scrutiny of, well, is a product good to sell or not? Is it profitable? And all the other nuances. In this video, I want to show you how to manually calculate how profitable an item might be. And we're going to be using different software in this course to actually calculate it for us. But it's important to understand how the calculation goes. And I'm going to use this coffee table as an example. I'm not saying this is a great product to resell. In fact, it's not, because it might break during shipping and you may have high returns on this. So as a product, it's not good. But look at the price. Here on Walmart, it's $60, $59.99. And here on Amazon, the very same product, $99, $100. So our difference is $40 in profit. And of course, you may want to underbid your competitors when you come into Amazon. So you might sell it for like $95 or $98. But let's say you're selling for $100 to keep our math easy. And so our initial math is simple. The Amazon price is $100. The Walmart price is $60. You'll buy it on Walmart. You'll sell it on Amazon. You keep $40, the difference. But that's not it. Of course, Amazon takes a fee that's $15 on just about all physical goods as their commission. So for us, 15% of the $100 of Amazon is going to be $15. So we have to subtract $15 from our profit because that goes to Amazon. Okay, it seems like we can live with that because $40 of our profit and $15 that goes to Amazon, out of that, we still keep $25. Not so bad. But hold on, there's one more problem. We have to pay sales tax to Walmart when we buy this product from Walmart. And let's say we're selling in the US. Every state in the US has a different sales tax that ranges from 0% to 10%. And if you want to be on a super safe side, you would estimate that every sale would be a 10% sales tax, just because you don't want to, by accident, have a loss on your sale. So let's say 10%. 10% of this Walmart price is $6. The $60 and 10% of that is $6. So we have to subtract our profit of $25 minus the sales tax we have to pay, which leaves us with $19. Okay, we can still perhaps live with that, but there are more problems. At the end of the year, you'll still have to pay another tax, your income tax on this profit, the $19. And you may or may not have to pay shipping fees to Walmart for the shipping. Now, probably you'll get free shipping with Walmart in a purchase like this that's kind of expensive. So you may not have free shipping, but you have to check if you do or you don't. That might also eat away at your profit. And you can check that by going through the checkout and seeing whether the product is eligible for free shipping or not. And then assuming you pay taxes at the end of the year, your income taxes, then of course you will subtract some more money. Let's say you pay 40% income tax. So it leaves you around $10, roughly, maybe 11, maybe 12, maybe 9, depending on your taxes. But you see, the emphasis of this video is that we'll never have to really count this manually again. This is just for your edification so you can see how this all works. But you will have to put in manual labor, like the dealing with the customer sometimes, handling returns sometimes. You will have to put in the order into Walmart manually. So that will take a few minutes. And so all of that can take some time for $10. For some people, that might be great. For some people, that might not be great. But the emphasis of this video is to illustrate the dwindling of your profit and the emphasis on how much of a profit margin you need to find initially, the discrepancy between the Amazon price and the supplier price, so that your Amazon dropshipping remains very profitable. As you're looking for ideal products to resell, well, there are some obvious products that you should avoid, which I want to talk about now. And generally, what you want to do is avoid headaches for yourself and lawsuits. Headaches typically have to do with returns and dealing with customer service. Different products tend to have more or less customer service requests, return requests. For example, if you sell fragile items, like things that could break during shipping or things that are made of glass or other fragile materials, there's really no need to, because there are millions of different products out there. You can find great products. So you want to just avoid products that you can kind of foresee that there will be customer service or refund issues. And other things you want to avoid are things that are going to get you in lawsuits, like if you sell products that are dangerous to use or are used in dangerous situations, like hunting gear, that's critical hunting gear, or car-related products, or child car safety seats. Well, if something goes wrong with that, you really don't want to be involved in any of that. And you can also avoid perishable products like food, like especially selling chocolate in the summer where it might melt, or most kinds of foods. Who knows what happens during the shipping? Again, it can get squished, it can perish, all that. Not all food has that. Like boxes of cereal, they tend to last for decades and decades because they're just chemicals, it seems like. But generally, foods are perishable. So if you are thinking of selling perishable foods, well, just think of the possible headaches. And as you go through different product ideas, surely you will come up with additional ideas of products that you want to avoid. And it would be fantastic if you posted those ideas in the Q&A of this video so that we can all collect a large number of potential pitfalls to avoid that all of us can then avoid. In this video, let's focus on how to do really great product research to find profitable products to sell. To do that, we're going to look at some very exciting new features of RepriceHub, which are under, as you see on the left side of the options here, there's a new feature here, product research, and we're going to click on start a new search, and it's actually going to bring us to this particular window. As you can see, right now you can do research with these particular suppliers. Obviously, RepriceHub works with additional suppliers, but for research, you can work with these. And let's say you pick Walmart, just for our example. So you pick Walmart, and the first two forms you get are supplier sales tax. If you have no tax exemption, you would add perhaps a 7% tax, but ultimately you want to get the tax exemption status so you can earn more on every sale. And obviously you also want to work up to finding how to get cashback and discounts. Let's say here you don't have any cashback or discounts, but for yourself, long term, you want to find how to get cashback and discounts. We talk about that in other parts of the course. So for now, let's just do the research. Our initial research is going to bring up many, many products that you can resell. As you can see on the very bottom, while there are 25 products per page, you'll get almost 900 pages of products. So it's almost endless, and they're ordered by the Amazon seller rank in their category, which isn't immediately helpful. So you want to narrow down by certain metrics. For example, most likely you're in this to make a profit, so you want to focus on the profit option. And let's say you want to make a profit of $30 to $100, and you can just click on apply, and you will see that the products refresh and you have fewer pages of product. Still many, but at least now you can see that some products are really profitable. Like this item is selling at $8.40 on Walmart, but surprisingly $50.40 on Amazon. And the price you have listed here is the lowest price you can sell to get into the buy box. So that's a wildly profitable product to sell. Similarly here, these computer speaker systems, They're like $80 on Walmart, but $150 on Amazon. So very, very profitable. And you can actually toggle this pretty far. Let's say you want like super profitable product, let's say $81 or something like that. You still get a lot of products. So this is actually really, really fantastic as a tool. But this is not the only option you have. Obviously, if you don't want to focus on just pure dollar profit, you can focus on ROI percentage. So maybe, for example, we'll not use the profit, but just for our example's sake, we want like 50% ROI. Let's see if that's possible. And yes, it's possible. There are many products. You can also narrow down by industry. So like, let's say cooking. And so if you sell products within a certain niche like cooking, you can just focus on cooking items that are very profitable in terms of ROI. You can also hide products that are sold by Amazon so you don't compete with Amazon. So that's what this little toggle is for. So you can turn that off and on. Often you don't want to compete with Amazon. And also there are these options, the supplier settings, minimum maximum price, and Amazon settings, minimum maximum price. But most people will be after the profit and the ROI. So these are the very, very important tools to use. And also the search terms to narrow down and stay within your niche if you have a certain niche that you chose. Now, if you focus on the right side here, it does some calculations for you because there is an Amazon fee. It tells you what the Amazon fee will be, tells you what the tax might be, and it tells you the sales rank because this sales rank isn't so tremendous. So what you might extrapolate from that is that if you get a sales rank of like 170,000, it's only going to sell a few, maybe per day or even less than that. So even though you're going to make a good profit, you're not going to sell many. So that's what all these things are for, so that you can really understand how much money ultimately you can make from a certain item. Now, there are certain options here that you should be aware of. If you really hate an item, or it's an item that it's not for you, maybe it's not in your category, or maybe it's illegal, or maybe it's going to violate some terms of service, if you click delete, it will never show up in your future searches. And another feature is you can have a wish list. So for example, you're just browsing and you're just thinking, maybe I'll add this one, maybe I'll add this, or you're not sure yet, but maybe you'll add this one, maybe not that one, maybe this one. See, when you go and you look at your product research on the left side and then wish list, you have your items that you're narrowing down towards. And what's going to happen is, let's say today you're doing the research and tomorrow you're probably going to finalize your research and choose some products. Well, tomorrow prices might change slightly. So what you can do is rescan them. Click rescan and it will give you the updated prices. So you can make sure, yes, it's still good. And then after that, what you can do is list to Amazon. And you can do that also not just from the wish list, but when you do your searches. And if you want to come back to your searches, you have your list of previous searches that you've done. So you can view results. And once you like a result, you can go list on Amazon. It pre-fills your Amazon product ASIN and some other information and just takes you to the form, which helps you fill out all the items about the product and post the product on Amazon to sell. So that's this fantastic product research feature of RepriceHub. Really, really powerful because you saw in literally seconds, it pulled from the entire catalog of Amazon and Walmart and showed me the ideal products to sell that are going to be extremely profitable. And that feature is not only going to save you hours of browsing manually or with other less good tools, but it's going to get you right to the best product, super profitable. And if you can start selling those at like 50% profit or $50 profit, $100 profit per sale, well, you start making really good money really quickly. So that's this really awesome new feature. I want to offer you a few more strategies to determine whether a product will be good for you to resell, and that is going to depend on how high are the returns rate going to be. For example, I recently ordered this iPhone recording stand. I ordered it for the first time. I don't know how it's going to work. Is it going to be flimsy? Is it going to be easy to use? It looks good, but I don't know. It's my first time ordering it. So there can be high return rate. On the other hand, let's say the dog food example. generally speaking, dog food is heavy, and dog owners, they reorder the same dog food for years, so they know exactly what they're getting. So not only is it annoying to return, but it's very unlikely that buyers will return this kind of an item. So again, items that are kind of like first-time use items, unique items, items that people aren't certain how they're really going to look when they get them or how they're going to work exactly, those tend to have high confusion rates, high return rates. That would be closer to this example, the iPhone recording stand. But items that people use all the time, well, they use it all the time. They know what they're going to get. It's very unlikely that there will be returns. So that's one idea that will guide your thinking. Another thing that will guide your thinking is, you see, very often we look at the number of stars, like are there many ratings? Here it's like 1,600 ratings or something like that, so it's pretty good. But we should also look at the quality of the star rating. If a product has a lot of reviews and it's under 4 stars, a lot of people are not exactly amazed by it, which means high return rates, or higher than if the product had high star rating scores. So that's the other thing you want to look for, is very high star ratings. That means most people are happy with it, and products that people pretty much know what they're going to get, so there aren't going to be returns, because returns really not only eat into your profits, but also demand more time from you, and we want your business to be mostly passive income. In this video, I want to show you a really interesting and unique hack for how to maximize your profit and sell at a higher price on Amazon, even if your price is not the highest, and even if Amazon itself is selling there. So here's an example of a product. It's for dog food. And what you'll see is the price is $61.93, which is expensive. And what you'll see is, if I go and see who the sellers are, you'll see a list of sellers that's going to include Amazon. Look at this. You see right here, ships from Amazon, sold by Amazon. This means that it comes from Amazon and from Amazon's warehouse. But you see, that's for $37. But the price listed on Amazon right now is $61.93, which is a different retailer. That's a dropshipper. How do you get such a big price disparity? Well, the trick is that you see this item sells many, many items per day, maybe 100 per day or 50 per day, just because it has so many ratings and it's just such a popular dog food that every once in a while Amazon runs out of inventory. And when Amazon runs out of inventory, then the sales go to the drop shippers on this list below Amazon. So what that means for you is, even if you see a product and it has Amazon as the seller, but you see that it's an item that sells a lot, you can still sell this product at a very high rate, because every once in a while Amazon will just run out of inventory, and then the drop shippers start making the sales. And there are many ways to find such a product on other retailers. You can literally copy this product title and put it into Google, or even do a Google image search, and you will find all the places where this is sold. Like, for example, you see Walmart, $37.99, same product. And so even though most of the time this product is not profitable to be sold on Amazon because the Amazon is the retailer, at times Amazon will just run out of inventory, and then the opportunity is yours. And what you can also do is, because some of these particular dropshippers are pretty savvy because they're doing exactly this strategy, what you can do is click around on these dropshippers and find other products they're reselling, because these dropshippers are probably pretty good at finding products. So that would be a good opportunity for finding good dropshippers that have items that you can kind of also piggyback off of them and use some of their products to resell. But also sometimes you also want to consider, well, how crowded is a certain product? How many dropshippers are there? And does it make sense for you to vary the products you try to sell? Some may be very, very competitive to sell, but some unique products that are not so competitive to sell, that sell fewer items, but maybe on those, because there can also be some not as popular items that are different and unique, that there aren't many dropshippers, where even though there aren't many sales, most of the dropshipper sales will go to you because you'll be one of a few or the only dropshipper on it. So those are just the things to consider. Very popular products with a lot of competition versus not so popular products but with very minimal competition. And you want to try to play around with both to see what's going to ultimately work out for you. Because remember, because it's dropshipping and you don't have to buy inventory, there's really almost no risk in trying out selling a product. Now I want to talk a little bit about how to choose your suppliers. And generally speaking, a store like Walmart is the most commonly used supplier by dropshippers. And very often, because Walmart uses branded boxes, and there are many other ways that Amazon can tell that, hey, a buyer bought something on Amazon, but for some reason the buyer got a package from Walmart. It's very confusing for the buyers. A lot of dropshippers run into problems with Walmart, so the recommendation is to use smaller suppliers. Now, smaller doesn't mean small. They're still gigantic. Here's a list of gigantic suppliers that are great, but just a little smaller than Walmart. And you see this is taken right from RepriceHub. The great thing is RepriceHub works with these smaller suppliers. So let's say you're using the tools to find price discrepancies and the tools show you, hey, there is a cheaper product on Walmart. Well, try to find the same product, see if it's cheaper on any of these stores. And what that's going to do is it's going to take a little bit of the magnifying glass off of your product and off of your Amazon store, just because they're extra weary about dropshippers using Walmart, because Walmart is just so commonly used. And that's why the smart dropshippers tend to not work with Walmart, but tend to work with smaller retailers such as these. And this is a fantastic list because this list essentially covers so many different kinds of products that it should be easy for you to find products here. And even if you find some product on Amazon that's, let's say, cheaper on Walmart, well, you don't have to fall in love with that product, because across these stores, there's over 1 million products. So it's not like you're ever going to run out of product ideas. So what you don't want to do is just jump to the first products you find, but sift through the different retailers, the different products, to find ideal ones that you can sell long-term and build a great long-term business on top of. Before you sell a product on Amazon, you have to check whether you're eligible to sell it. So now I'll walk you through exactly how to check eligibility, and if you're not eligible, how to apply for it. And I'll do that with a specific product, since we need a product to use for our example. And later in this course, you'll see how I came up with this product, how I found this product, and how to find many, many great products to resell. But for now, I'll just show you how to check for eligibility, which is what you have to check for before you post the product. So on Amazon, in your Seller Central, what you can do is on the left side on top here, click on these 3 lines and you'll get some options. What you want is to mouse over catalog and then click on add products. And under add products, what you want to enter is either the UPC, EIN number, or ISBN, or ASIN. ASIN usually the easiest because you already have the Amazon listing. So I'll paste the ASIN number of that ukulele, and here it is. So that's the ukulele, and on the right side you choose the condition. Let's say it's new, and then what you'll see is this option here for show limitations. You can pull that down, and what you'll see is it says, in my case, you're not approved to list in this product category. Okay, fine. To be able to sell in this product category, I have to click on apply to sell, and then as you can see here, it says you need approval to sell this item, so request approval. That's what I click on, and then they show you their video about anti-counterfeit policy compliance, and you go through and reply to the questions that they ask you. So they ask, are you a reseller, distributor, or a manufacturer, or both? Well, I'm not a manufacturer, but I'm a reseller. And then they ask, which of the following statements describes your responsibility when listing on products on Amazon? And then what you want to choose is I'm responsible for all products I sell on Amazon and for understanding whether they violate the law or otherwise restricted to sell on Amazon. Then for the next question, if you list products on Amazon for sale that are illegal or otherwise are in violation of Amazon policies, the following consequences could result: all of the above, right? Your offer for the products in question may be removed. Yes, your eligibility to sell in a particular category might be removed, and your entire seller account might be blocked. Okay. And then they ask, which of the following represent a best practice when selling on Amazon? All of the above, because you want to make sure you understand all these items, like assign one or more employees to be responsible for reviewing each product you plan to sell, carefully reviewing the restricted products policy. Yes. If buying inventory from a source other than the manufacturer, apply extra diligence to understand the provenance of the products and the legal framework. Yes, of course. When in doubt about whether a product may be sold, don't list it. Yes. If selling drugs or supplements, understand the ingredients, etc. But these, of course, don't apply to the ukulele. It's legal and there are no supplements, but you just want to make sure that you show that you understand everything. And then you say, all products I intend to sell are authentic, counterfeit, replica, and then you click that. Please provide contact information. So you provide yours, and then you provide your phone number. And then you click submit. And then after that, they say your selling application is approved. So now I can sell these items. You can click here, check status of your request, and here for this product, approved. So then you can go to catalog, add product, you find this product again, and then you would say new, and then you see instead of applying for approval, they actually give you the option to sell this product. So you can either click that to test, or once you know that you can sell this product, then you can go to RepriceHub and from there begin to sell this product. But just to walk through the entire process, let's click on sell this product. And you may also get this message essentially about having a correct credit card on file. So you need to click on replace charge method right here. So you click on reactivate account, and then you click right here on replace charge method. And then you click on add a new credit card. In my case, I'm going to enter the information and click add your card. Of course, I'm going to not show any of the information just for security reasons, but I'll see you on the screen that comes up after you click on add your card. And so if you had to update your credit card or anything else, it said it will take 24 to 48 hours. So then you come back after that time and check just to make sure you can create this product again by going through the catalog and clicking add products and new. And if you can do that, then all the troubleshooting has been done, and you can then go and create the product on the lister in RepriceHub. In this video, let's actually go through the process of uploading a product that we found. Let's say we are searching on our product research and we found some product, for example, that is really good. You can, of course, search for anything, but I'm going to do this example with this ukulele. And let's say that when you are in your product research on any product, really, once you are ready to list the product on Amazon, you can just click this button, list to Amazon, and then it's going to take you to this form where some of the things are already pre-filled, like the supplier price, profit, Pampers. That's just what I clicked. But let's do our example with this ukulele. It's going to give you a number of important options. These are the options that determine how profitable you want the sale to be, because let's say you can make a profit of $1, but do you really want to go through all the trouble of ordering everything else, dealing with customer support for $1? Not really. So you're going to set the settings here for what is ideal for you. So you can choose the profit percentage or direct fixed profit price. So our general range here on Target, it's $40. On Amazon, it's either 80 or 85. So let's say 80 just for easy math. It's $40 profit. So what we can do is we can say we're okay with a $35 profit. Anything that is $35 or above, we'll take that sale. Anything below, we won't take that sale. And then you'll, of course, have to adjust the pull down to say fixed profit. Now it shows you that your price will be $88.22. That's because Amazon will take a 15% fee. They're already calculating that. Also, you're going to want to put in like a, let's say 8% or 10% tax. So you see, we're not making as much sale here. But the great thing is, you see, I wanted this ambitious profit, but right now it's not happening. Of course, there are ways to get the profit back up, like by using coupons, discount coupons, by using cashback, etc. But for now, we'll have to lower this to $25, and then we're pretty much competitive. Like let's say 23, and we'll be right in that range where we're able to sell well on Amazon. So it's a $23 profit per sale. You can see that you can add into your calculation the supplier discount. Like if you know that Target is going to give you that cash back, you can add it here, let's say 3 to 5%, whatever it is. So immediately it's going to reflect in your profitability. So let's say if I say 3%, you see my Amazon price will go from $77.87 to a lower price, $76. That means I can take back $1 more into my profits and keep the Amazon price $77. Now for handling times, you actually want to give yourself more time just in case you maybe are delayed, something happens. You don't want your seller metrics to say that you deliver late. And so pretty much that's it. You can immediately see how much profit you'll make, which is not an amazing profit, but it's not a bad profit. Keep in mind, this is not a high sales product, so it's not going to happen frequently for you, but every once in a while you'll get a boom, here's a sale, great. And of course, if you want to outbid the competitors right here, you see under the buying options, people who offer free delivery, they charge $84, around $85. People who don't have free delivery, they are around $79. So in your case, you see you'll still underbid if it's a $78 or something like that, like $78.99 would be a good price. And so you see you can make a profit of $25+, pretty good. And then you would create this listing. And because this is a new account that I'm setting up just to show everything fresh, we don't currently have a template, because sometimes you can just, instead of filling out everything fresh, you can use a template that's going to have pre-filled supplier tax, etc. But it's not really necessary too much, because depending on the individual quirks of the item, you kind of still have to go through each form field individually and check if it's right. And also there are repricing strategies, which we also have not created and set. So for now, we're just going to create a listing. We click on create a listing, and it says done. Your listing will soon be live on Amazon. Amazing. And then you just go to your products page. You see what's happening there, everything that you set. You can scroll and you can look through it. And that's how you upload your first product to be sold. After you've gone through the process of listing a product, two things may happen. You may have listed successfully, or you may have listed unsuccessfully. Let's go over how to check whether you've listed successfully and your product is going to get seen on Amazon. So first of all, you can go to your Repricer, and in the product dashboard, you can scroll to the right and see if there are any messages regarding errors. That's one thing you can do. Sometimes there will be errors like product listing incomplete or something like that, but sometimes there may not be errors, because some issues sometimes have to do with Amazon. So the second check is you go to Amazon to check. So let's do it together. So you go to your Amazon Seller Central, and in Seller Central on the top left, you click these three lines, and then you click on inventory, and then you click on manage all inventory, and we're going to check one product that we made. You see here the status says active, very good. Now, the good thing is that it says active, so active, great. But sometimes it might say incomplete, in which case what you would do is go through these different fields and see whether something's not filled out. Something might be highlighted in a different color, so you just want to make sure it's filled out. Like in my case, when I first uploaded this product, the shipping information wasn't filled out, and so then I had to add the shipping information, and so it started showing my product as active. And then the next thing would be to go to the Amazon listing and check if your product is there. Now, if you've just uploaded your product, it may not immediately show up, so give it a little bit of time. But what I wanted to show you in this video is the very next steps to check whether you've created your listings correctly is to check the validity of your post on RepriceHub and in Amazon Seller Central. In this video, I want to show you how your product dashboard will look like. This is the list of your products when you list a number of products that you're selling and what information you get and what options you have as a user to make your life easier and more organized when using RepriceHub to manage your products that you're reselling. So first of all, you may notice that you can scroll right, and it's a pretty long scroll. Obviously, practically speaking, we typically don't scroll right. This is not so convenient. So for this, you can actually click on the right side. You see show hide columns, and you can actually find information that's most pertinent for you, like SKU. You may not want the SKU to show up because who needs that? You may not need it. You may not need the ASIN. And the more information you get rid of, the more important information stays and becomes easier to see and track. Because admittedly, the text here is small and all the numbers are small, and it is hard to browse things like this. So that's one of the things that I encourage you to do, is actually just go through hide and show columns and really find what's important within the strategy that you're choosing and for the products you're choosing. Like, does the supplier ID really tell you much? Maybe not in a lot of cases. Also, let's say there is some bulk operation that you want to do, like some kind of a bulk edit on prices. You can select a few prices, and you see when I click here to the left of a product, these three buttons come up: delete, unlink, edit. So let's say I want to make a bulk edit, I can do that. Let's say choose the profit, and I can choose the profit percentage, and I can save that. So that just saves you time. And generally, you might ask, like, why would you want to delete or unlink some products? Why don't they just stay here? Well, for some accounts, you have a constraint on the number of products you can have at the same time. So if some product is not profitable, you can get rid of that product. Also, some helpful features to keep in mind: if you scroll all the way to the right, you have some options like this. You see delete, unlink, edit, price history, rescan. You see this rescan? You may want to use that in case you want the most up-to-date information if you're browsing now, because RepriceHub rescans every hour. But just in case you want to be sure, you want to click rescan, and you also want to click price history just if you're curious what's been happening to the price. So let's do that here together. See, right here you have the supplier price is $99 and the price we're selling it is $141, so it's a healthy profit. And you can see that the price gap is consistent. And this price history option will be useful once your product is up for a long time. You can see the fluctuations, and depending on the historic fluctuations, that may predict future fluctuations, and you might see, there may be some price dips somewhere, and you might want to take advantage of those price dips or spikes with your own pricing. Because you may think, the supplier price never dips, but sometimes it does. And that might give you an idea. For example, on weekends, sometimes they have big sales. And so you think, okay, so instead of you get an order on Friday, you might wait until Saturday to order that on the weekend sale. That's rare. That's just an example. But something like that might work. Or if the price on Amazon jumps, you can also see the range of the price on Amazon so that you can see where you can price that's reasonable, that you can still generate sales. So if the price goes above where you're selling it currently, you might actually raise your price on Amazon so that you still make those sales, but at higher rates. And let's just go over a few of the columns that are really interesting here so that you understand how to best use this. Obviously, you can track the supplier price, whether the supplier charges shipping on this item, the quantity, bundles, if there are bundles, shipping and handling times, this is really important, Amazon price, so you can always compare your supplier price to the Amazon price. You can see if it's buy box eligible. Some products are not. If it is buy box eligible, you would see the buy box price here, but there aren't. And then you can interestingly see how many you're selling in the last 24 hours. This will tell you, oh, some are really selling well, some are not selling so well. And obviously the ones that are not selling so well, you're going to consider either editing that listing or just getting rid of that listing and replacing it with a better one. So that's it. These are the ideal ways to use the products list on RepriceHub to monitor what's happening in your products and compare them to see which are doing well, which to get rid of, which to keep, and etc., etc. In this video, I want to show you a couple of more helpful things in the products dashboard. So here we are in the products dashboard, and what I want to show you is, let's say that you have many products. What you can do is you can edit them in bulk, and the options that you have in your lister when you first list these items, you can actually edit them anytime, and in bulk, especially once you have many products, this becomes a very useful feature. So let's say you want to change the supplier minimum price. Well, you can do that and just save that, and it will update that setting for all the items. And just keep in mind, whenever you make changes, sometimes the Amazon API can be a little slow. Usually changes take just a few moments, but sometimes it can take like 24 to 48 hours depending on the change. So sometimes it's also good to go to your Amazon Seller Central account and just manually check whether some settings that you changed have been in fact changed. Also, I want to talk about a few interesting columns here. If I scroll to the right, you see we have supplier status and Amazon status. These two columns here. The supplier status shows if the product is in or out of stock at the supplier. And the Amazon status shows if your Amazon listing is active or not. Also, I want to show you this scan column. See, when you click on scan, that can activate or pause the scanning at the supplier for the current listing. Like, let's say you have the RepriceHub plan to have 500 listings, but you have like 700 listings and you don't want to pay for a higher plan. Then you can enable scanning 500 listings. And so the other listings that may not be important for you, they can remain paused. And that matters because you see in the pricing, you see every tier has a limit of listings. And that scanning option can help you stay below a certain threshold so you don't have to upgrade your plan and can keep a lower plan that's cheaper for you. In this video, I want to show you the most commonly used feature in the products dashboard, and that is when you scroll over to the right, the edit button. And when you click the edit button, you have all these options that come up, which also came up for you when you posted the product in the lister. This is when you first went through the product setup steps. And obviously, this feature is most used because once a product is up and you have a listing, you every once in a while need to make some kind of tweak to it. Like you can change your profit margin, you can change many things, and on an ongoing basis, this is where you'll be making most of your adjustments for existing products. And previously in the course, we've already gone through most of these options, so there's no need to go over them again. But there are some things that are very important here, and that is that you can change the minimum and maximum profit margins just for this current listing, even though you may have applied a global strategy to many listings at once. Every once in a while, a listing will need you to collect maybe a little bit of a smaller margin in order to still win the buy box. And so you might want to adjust that manually. And same thing, if you don't have many competitors, then you can also increase the profit margin for a specific listing. And in contrast with bulk editing, the single item editor is where you can edit little precise things that will help you beat out your competition on that specific listing. And there are many things that might come up over time, depending on the prices of the product, the behavior of your competition, and whatever happens, this is the place you go to make specific necessary adjustments for each listing. In this video, I want to talk a little bit more about your repricing strategies. And of course, in your product, you can have a repricing strategy. Just to remind you, so you can choose any of the repricing strategies that you create. And what I want to talk about in this video are competitive repricing strategies. You see, on Amazon listings, there is competition from other sellers selling the same product. And in order to have the best price, which is going to help you win the buy box, you need to constantly monitor those other listings and adjust your price on Amazon. And of course, if you had to do this manually, that would take a lot of time. And to be fair, it's almost impossible to do. If you have many items for a human, that's not possible. So you need some software to do it for you, especially when you start selling tens or hundreds of products. And with RepriceHub, you can create a set of these rules that's your specific repricing strategy, according to which RepriceHub can change the price for you automatically 24/7 when you're sleeping, when you're on vacation. It's still working on you based on the rules you gave it. And even though you're not obligated to use a repricing strategy, it is highly, highly recommended that you do, because that's specifically what helps you increase your sales a lot. Because what usually happens, let's say you don't apply repricing strategy, you see, you'll create some settings that make sense for you. You'll go through the lister setup, you'll add your product, everything will look fine, and your product will be listed there. It might even be winning in the beginning, and it might sell a few items, but then over time, prices will start to naturally fluctuate because other sellers are using repricers. And in addition to that, there are many other reasons why prices fluctuate, like different sales, different promotions, like seasonal promotions, or maybe the manufacturer just raised prices. There are many, many things that can happen. You will never know about those things. Nobody tells you, nobody informs you. So the only way to have your listing automatically and in a passive way stay competitive is by creating a repricing strategy and making sure that your products follow a certain repricing strategy. So that's why ultimately it's so important to have really good and well thought out repricing strategies. In this video, I want to show you how to create a repricing strategy that works for you. So from your dashboard, you'll click on Repricing Strategies, and you'll see, well, if you haven't created any, you won't have any. So you'll click on Add New, and you'll give it a name, something that will make sense for you. You can actually name it after you set all your parameters, just because once you set all your parameters, it will give you a more crystallized idea of what exactly is the best description for your strategy. But for our case, we'll just call it Strategy 1. So now that we have a name, let's go over all the parameters. And if you're not sure about anything, you see it actually gives you this little eye. You can mouse over, you can understand what it is. So a competition type, you can compete on 4 things. You can compete on the buy box, you can try to be the lowest price, you can compete on FBA only, which we're not doing in this course, or FBM only. So for example, if you're competing with FBM only, then you're competing on the lowest price against only products that are fulfilled by merchant. So if there are lower priced items that are fulfilled by Amazon, FBA, you're not competing with those, you're choosing to only compete with the FBM. Or you can choose to compete on lower price overall. So generally speaking, you want to compete on the buy box. In some cases, there are no buy boxes. In those cases, the strategy will default to lowest price. So you will just choose buy box, unless you specifically have a reason to only compete against FBM or FBA for some reason. But generally speaking, unless you see some reason to not compete on the buy box, then you just click the buy box because it's a good default. And then here's an important thing, the strategy. Do you want to price below, price above, or match? Now, one idea would be to price below, but the problem is that let's say your competitor also has a repricer, and that repricer is also set to price below. Well, then they're going to price below, then your repricer is going to price below, and you're going to drive each other's profit to the minimum, and it's going to stop at whoever has the lowest limit set for how much profit they can make. So basically, you'll just ruin each other's businesses. Now you will think, okay, match is great, but then what if somebody else comes in and they do price below? And so it really creates this weird ecosystem. This is why it's nice to have multiple strategies, because you see our strategy here, the name can take shape like price match, let's say, and then we'll have a price match strategy. And there isn't like one strategy that's best in all cases. In different cases, different strategies would apply. So let's look at the next item. Choose what to do if there's no competition. That's interesting. Well then, if there's no competition, you can go to the maxed price perhaps. And then you can choose what to do if competition goes below the minimum price. In this case, well, if it's below your minimum, then you do not reprice, right? You don't want to sell at a rate that's so low that it doesn't make sense for you. You also have an option to not change your price if you're in the buy box. So you can enable or disable it. If you win the buy box, you can disable the repricer from moving around, because why? You already won the buy box. Then the next option is choose the minimum seller rating to compete against. So like if you have some bad sellers that you're competing against, clients might look at their lower prices, but then they might also look at their low ratings and just not buy from them because of their low ratings. So you may not have to price below them to make sales. And this is optional. So you can just leave this blank really. And then a very important item, specify minimum and maximum profit margins. And you can choose a fixed profit or a profit margin. For easy math, it's nice to have fixed profit. I personally have a preference for that just because it's easy to see. It's a lot easier to understand. And so you might say like you want to make a profit of, let's say, $30 or $40, whatever it is for you. That's the minimum profit. And then the maximum profit, you see this maximum profit, you might think like, why would I want to cap the maximum? Well, sometimes let's say a product is $20, but then you say it's $10,000. Well, then people are going to just flag that listing on Amazon, the consumers will, and Amazon might take that listing down, or they don't really like that because obviously it makes their website look absurd. So you might want to go like price above percentage, maybe like 30% or 50% is okay, but not something too crazy. So you might want to cap your profit at that because it's just too much. So these settings would just strengthen your strategy. You save that. So now you have your own pricing strategy. So when you have your products, of course, there are many things you can edit. When you click on edit, you can edit a lot of these things. But also you see on the right side here, when you scroll a little bit to the right, you can give it a repricing strategy, and you can give it that strategy that we just made. It's obviously optional. You don't have to have a listing with a strategy, but it helps to have a strategy so that the repricer can be a little smarter on your behalf. Now I want to go over a point that isn't always clear, but it's fascinating, and this is what makes this particular repricer one of the most compelling ones, and that is that it's AI powered. And artificial intelligence today is one of the hottest topics, and you get the advantages of it already pre-built in this repricer. And as you can see, the great thing is it's included in every RepriceHub plan. So even if you get the lower one, you still get it. So I want to quickly explain to you where the artificial intelligence comes in when using this repricer. That extra intelligence is applied when it works on your behalf to get you to win the buy box. Because you see, when you add a product, you give the repricer some parameters, like you want to make a certain profit, you don't want to go below a certain margin. But within those rules that you give the repricer, the algorithms that work behind the scenes operate on millions and millions of data points and historic trends of Amazon price movements, buy box ownership and buy box winning, and what gets you to win the buy box, and how different seller offers and ever-changing competition and ever-changing pricing impact the price that you should have within the range you gave it. So these artificial intelligence algorithms help the repricer decide how and when to update the price on your behalf to increase the overall success rate of your sales, but also maximizing your profits. And that's something that you don't know that's happening. It's working behind the scenes, but I just wanted to bring your attention to the level of intelligence of this particular repricer, that it does use artificial intelligence, which is really important today, because there are many repricers, like Amazon provides you one, but it's very, very basic. And that's why you need a third-party smart repricer with these kinds of incredible features. In this video, let's walk through the creation of a template so that when you list a product, like you go to a single lister and you enter your ASIN, etc., you see these settings right here. When you get here, well, you want some pre-filled items so that you don't have to fill them out all the time. And also setting it once correctly when you're creating a template will prevent you from making typos and other errors that you might make in the moment. So let's create a setting template by clicking on setting templates. And this is a new account I made fresh just to create this course. So we're going to say add new. We don't have a template yet. And here we get these options that we can set. So obviously you can choose if you want to maintain a profit margin or a fixed profit. It's a preference thing. My preference is the fixed dollar amount. Your preference might be something else, but just because I'm making this, I would set this for myself. Just to walk you through how I think about it. Well, every time that something happens here and I get an order on Amazon, even though that's good, at the same time, I have to spend a little bit of time fulfilling that order by going to a supplier, making an order, tracking it all. So there's some work per item. Let's say 5 or 10 minutes. And maybe for some items, you might have to deal with returns, or there may always be some unforeseen issues that you have to handle, and that just will take your time. So for your time, you want to figure out, okay, like let's say if an average order is going to take me 10 minutes on average to work through, I'd like to make a certain amount of money, let's say at $35. And again, it's just a preference thing for you. It can be lower. And then you will leave this Amazon fee 15% because that's pretty standard. The supplier shipping, generally, you're going to aim at having this 0. That's something you're going to take care of when you do your product selection. You'll only sell products that have 0 shipping for the most part, just because why have shipping rates unless there's some kind of an extraordinary item? You will just keep shipping 0. Supplier sales tax, again, in United States, the tax can range from 0 to 10%. If you want to stay on the safe side, it will be 10%. If you don't want to stay on the safe side, maybe 6 or 7 or 8, something like that. So you might say 10, just to be safe, totally safe. And let's say you might make a template for like Home Depot. Well, for Home Depot, you can get a discount of 6% cashback. So you might say that. And so then obviously that gives a name to your template, Home Depot template. Perfect. It's really helpful when the names are descriptive, because when you make them, you'll think to yourself, oh yeah, of course I'll know what it is. But once you start having a few templates, if the names aren't clear, it starts to be confusing. And then you might want to say like 5 days, just so that you don't run late. And this field, just to avoid any problems, let's say you get 100 orders overnight and then you can't fulfill it because your suppliers don't have it in stock either. You might want to cap this at like, let's say 5 or 10 per day. This is just for you so that maybe you don't get 100 orders per day. But if you can handle more, you can put more. So this is just for you a cap. And you want to leave these check marks as the default setting. And you just want to press save. And that's it. There you go. You see, you'll save it. And suddenly you have a template. So next time when you use the lister, you'll be able to apply this template, and so you don't have to fill this out individually one by one. It will just save you time, and it will make your listings less error prone. In this video, I want to quickly walk you through the orders dashboard. There are a few helpful things that you can do here. You see, because when you get an order from Amazon, to fulfill that order, you're going to manually go and order from your supplier like Walmart, Best Buy, Target, whoever. That's going to be manual. So to help you keep track of your actions, you can actually mark here as ordered or shipped or anything like that. so that you can keep track here of what you've done. Because let's say you get a lot of orders, it will start being very confusing. Like, did I ship to that person? Did I not ship to, and then you have to go check, right? So this feature is a really good place to track what you're doing with your inventory, like quote unquote inventory, right? You obviously don't have inventory because you don't buy inventory, but your inventory that you have to fulfill, this is a good place to keep track. Did I fulfill it? Did I not? Also, precisely because when you buy from the supplier, this tool cannot possibly know, did you pay tax? What was the tax? You can actually go ahead and you see you can adjust supplier shipping, supplier discount, supplier tax. You can adjust these so that your profit calculations are more accurate. And then once you get your profit calculations to be more accurate, you'll be able to browse this dashboard to see, are you making the profits that you want? If not, then you have to go and debug, like, well, why not? Is it something that I didn't set correctly in my pricing strategy? Or did I not get the right product? Or something else is going wrong? Or whatever the problem is, this will be a good clue that there may be a problem, and then you go find it and fix it so that long-term your listings stay healthy and profitable. So these are the top ways you would use the orders area. Obviously, in addition to whenever you get an order, you make a happy dance, you're excited. But once you're past the excitement stage, there's also a few practical things you can do on the orders page. If you're going to be a dropshipper, eventually you'll encounter the fact that you have to handle some returns, and you also have to do a little bit of customer service. So that's what we're going to talk about in this video, because it's an important topic for dropshipping. Obviously, with returns, you can lose some money. Let's talk about that. And first, just so that you understand, the returns in Amazon and dropshipping, they're more complicated than direct returns. Let's say you bought something from somewhere, you return it. It's very easy to understand how that works. But here, it's a little bit more complicated, you see, because your client, they're the Amazon buyer. They buy on Amazon, and the return request will come from Amazon. But the product is actually not going to come to them from Amazon. The product is going to come from the vendor or the retailer where you can get the cheaper price. For example, a store like Best Buy. So you see, that makes it really confusing. There are 4 parties involved here: you, the buyer, Amazon, and Best Buy. And returns can also come in many different flavors. We'll talk about that in a second. So let me offer you some more thoughts on returns. Well, you see, Amazon just about always sides with the customers because they want to keep the customers happy. As Amazon's brand, they want to be known as a brand that satisfies customers. So generally speaking, if somebody wants a return and they really want it, they're going to get it. But you have something to protect you. First is customer support, you see, because sometimes you can message the customer to check what the problem was. And sometimes there's a different type of return. Like some returns are just like, I never got the product. Some returns are because the product was damaged. Or some returns were just like, oh, the customer changed their mind. Many different reasons. Sometimes the customer thought they were going to get a product that works one way and the product works a different way. Now, sometimes they misunderstood, but sometimes they literally cannot figure out how to make the product work correctly. Like even I bought some toy for my daughter, and I think I was too dumb to figure out how to make it work. It took me like 2 days. And then I was considering like, hey, this is kind of a broken toy. I should return it. And only later I figured out, and it took me a couple of days to figure out that it's me who was the problem in the situation. But also I had a client who was selling a cleaning product, and the people who were buying that product, they just couldn't figure out how to apply the cleaning product correctly. And they thought it doesn't work as advertised, but it did. So my point being here is that you can check with the customers and see if you can explain to them how to make the product work. Sometimes there are just misunderstandings because at the end of the day, just about all people buy from Amazon because they need that product. They're actually motivated to get that product to work for them. They don't want to deal with returns. It's a hassle. So you can save a lot of your potential returns. You can get them to not be returns through customer support. But if they don't need your assistance and they don't want support and they just want to return the product, you allow them to return the product. Amazon is going to side with them anyway. Don't waste your time. And if that happens where you have to process a return, well, let's look at a scenario for that. You see, when you process the return, all the money that the Amazon buyer paid goes right back to them. So you got no money from Amazon, but you just bought them the product from Best Buy, right? You're kind of at a loss so far. But there are a few things that can happen. You may or may not lose all the money for the Best Buy purchase. One scenario can be that the Amazon buyer can ship you the product to your home. So next time you sell that product on Amazon, you just ship it instead of buying it from Best Buy again, just ship it from your home. So that way, you'll only really lose a few dollars on shipping. And there are many ways to get shipping really cheap. So that case is not really problematic. Sure, it's not something you would wish for. You don't want to lose a few dollars on shipping. You don't want to waste time dealing with this. But it doesn't destroy your business. A worst case can be that, let's say, sometimes you don't actually get the product back from the buyer. If the buyer says to Amazon, I never got this product, whether they got the product and this is fraud, or the product was lost in the mail or anywhere, maybe the carrier had some problem, maybe there was some theft, doesn't matter. The customer didn't get the product, it's your problem. They want the product, so you have to ship it again. These are rare cases, but in these rare cases, you might lose the entire cost of the product. Everything you pay to Best Buy, you lose all that. Which sometimes the product is $20, sometimes the product is $60, sometimes the product is $500, sometimes it's $2,000. So depending on the cost of the product, this can be a painful situation or not. So that's something to consider because you do have this risk. So let's say you find a product to resell and it's a high ticket product and there's a high margin, but at the same time, there is some risk that you're going to have to process such returns. And the more expensive the items are, people are going to spend more time if they need to return it. So in many cases, you'll have higher rates of returns. It will just happen more frequently. So that's something to really consider when you're choosing a product to resell. Because on the flip side, if you don't get a high ticket item, but let's say you find something that's like under $100, but there's a $30 or $40 profit margin, even if you lose all the cost of that, it's not a horrible situation. It's not going to destroy your business. Whereas like a $2,000 loss, yeah, that would be quite a dent. So hopefully that explains the different nuances of shipping. Now I just want to give you a few thoughts on shipping. You see, you can have a prepaid shipping label sent to the clients. It's cheap to do that. And as a high volume shipper, you can get cheap shipping rates. Like I mentioned, it's not a problem. And the real idea that I want to discuss also is that, you see, when you offer returns and when your priority is to keep customers happy, think of it this way. Some loss of time and some loss of money on your part is just a part of the cost of this business. It's not bad. It's just going to happen. And that's a mindset that's healthy because, you see, once you adopt this mindset, when returns happen, you're not going to get too sad about it because at the end of the day, you need to keep your seller rating high and you need to keep in good standing with Amazon. Those are the two most important things long term. You want this business to work for you long term. So actually see possible returns or situations when you can offer customer service as ways that protect you from getting bad reviews as a seller and having that destroy your business. So that's a healthy way to look at returns. They actually save you from an already bad scenario to only a moderately bad scenario. In this video, I want to introduce you to how to set your shipping settings on Amazon. So in your Seller Central, you're going to click on this little gear icon, and then one of the options is return settings and shipping settings. In this case, we're going to go to shipping settings, but these two settings, they go hand in hand, obviously. So we'll click on shipping settings, and you'll have your regular template as their default. They give you a default template without you creating anything. And you see here, I'm on shipping templates, but if you toggle over and click on general shipping settings, you can have all your information and verify that it's correct, like the handling time. You might want to set that longer, so you will edit that just to make sure that you don't run late. Then you save that, and then you can go through a lot of these different options and change them. And to change it, you will click on edit template here, and you can see that you can change any part of this. Like, is this a PO box? Maybe no. Then you can check the details for shipping to different regions, the details for your standard shipping, for the free economy shipping, etc., etc. You can even increase the shipping rates that you would charge your buyers. That will, of course, increase your profit a little bit because you have to pay for shipping to them from your supplier. But generally speaking, most of the defaults here are just fine, unless you have some unusual issue. Also, make sure that whatever brand you chose, like quality products, that's your brand on Amazon as a dropshipper, you want to maybe change, let's say this is my personal name. The buyers don't know who I am. In this case, I want to change it to that brand. So just things like that. So it's consistent and the buyer gets what they expect to get. Similarly, you can look at return settings. You can click on return program settings and choose, do you want to offer free returns for all items, or you want to offer free returns for some items, or free returns for none of my items. Of course, if the item is broken, you should offer a free return. And the other two options really just depend on how you want to run your business. You can offer free returns, your customers will be happier, but you lose a little more money sometimes. Or you can deal with some of the returns individually. So if you choose that, you can click submit, and it will say, okay, successfully updated your settings. And of course, very importantly, just click on manage return address and make sure that the address is actually your address. And with that, that's it. So you just want to basically just go through these settings, check if the defaults are fine for you, and where they're not fine, where you can edit them. Because even though nobody wants to deal with returns, if you don't handle them well, you're going to risk damaging the long-term health of your Amazon dropshipping account. So you really don't want to do that. You want to be compliant and make sure customers are happy. If you ever need to handle returns or deal with extra shipping, I want to offer a suggestion to you for how to get your shipping rates to be cheaper. See this website here on the right side says, get discounts from the major shipping carriers. And there's a bunch of websites like this. One of them is goshippo.com. Or if you don't like this one, you can just search Google for websites that have cheaper shipping carrier rates. There's a bunch of sites like this, and they help you with shipping labels and getting discounts, etc. And the more you ship, the cheaper it can be for you. You see, the pricing here is very reasonable. They have a free starter plan, and even if you start shipping a lot, it's very, very cheap compared to what they save you. And basically, if you just send one thing, you can probably pay the regular shipping rate. But if you start shipping a few things a month, then you want to start looking into a tool like this to just cut your shipping costs down, which will obviously make your profit go up because you have less expenses. In this video, I want to introduce you to a really helpful productivity tools for Amazon dropshippers. This works with eBay dropshipping as well, but since in this course we're talking about Amazon, it's for Amazon dropshippers in our case, and this is going to help you with your shipping. This is an automatic tracking number uploader, because you see, when you get an order from Amazon, the faster you ship your item and the faster you upload a tracking number to Amazon so that the buyer can track the package, the better. And after you ship the package, you have like 1 or 2 days to add a tracking number. And just imagine how tedious that would be to do by hand. And because it's tedious, human error would creep in. And this is a really bad area to have human error, just because one mistake for you might be a little thing, but for the buyer and for Amazon, it's very important and you can get in trouble. So the way this tool works is every time you sell a product on Amazon, of course, you get an email about it in your inbox. And then, of course, you get that email and then you go to a supplier and you make a purchase from the supplier, and guess what? That supplier sends you a confirmation email as well. Now, this particular tool, TrackerBot, you have to give it access to read your emails, and then it goes and looks for emails that are confirmations of the same purchase. The address used on Amazon will be the address used when you order from your supplier. And so it will be able to scan your email inbox for both emails, the Amazon order notification and the supplier purchase notification. So that way it matches the Amazon order to the supplier order. And from that, it adds the tracking number automatically to your Amazon order. And that will happen even faster than if you would do it manually. So the customers are happier and it's less error prone. It can even automate some of your email sending to let the customers know when the product is shipped and when it's delivered. And it even has a Chrome extension called paste.me, which pastes the shipping address that the Amazon buyer gave you into the form when you're making the purchase in your supplier website. Again, if you have to type it by hand, it's error prone, but when the tool pastes it for you automatically, it's less error prone. And just to look at the pricing, it's not free, but it's very reasonable. It's only $14.99 a month until you reach 150 sales per month. And once you're doing that volume, you're already making a significant amount. So that's it. Try this tool out and save yourself a lot of annoying copy and pasting, save yourself time, and very importantly, prevent human error, which will keep your Amazon buyers happy. In this video, I want to introduce you to this amazing service, which is very new, that I found out about, that is going to solve a lot of your problems, because you may notice there are two real challenges in dropshipping. The first challenge is that there are so many things that eat away at your profit. You might find something that's like a $40 margin, but by the time you get through taxes and shipping and handling all the other things, you just end up with pennies of profit and sometimes a loss. And the other problem is that there are still some things that are kind of manual. Like when you get an order from Amazon, you still have to go to a supplier website, order, enter your information, etc. And per order, it doesn't take a lot of time, but if you get many orders, it's quite time consuming and laborious. So the solution is this service, ship4u.co. It helps you if you do dropshipping on eBay, Amazon, Shopify, or Facebook. In this course, we're obviously only talking about Amazon, so it will help you with your Amazon dropshipping. And you see here, it explains it. We fulfill your orders end to end so you can focus on growing your business. Now, let me explain to you how this works. You see, when you sell something, they ship it for you. And they actually don't charge you anything. Their revenue comes only from the money they save you, because they're experts at getting the best deal, getting discounts, getting the best shipping rates, all the things that come with experience in doing this. As you can see here, they explain they get you cheaper products. They even handle order issues, like what if there are returns? What if there are customer support issues? They have 7 days a week support staff that as a single entrepreneur or a small business, you probably can't even provide. And here are some of the ways that this is better than manual shipping. Because if you were just to ship manually, like you get an order from Amazon, and then you have to do everything on your own, like log into your supplier, order, etc., that will take hours out of your every day. If your Amazon dropshipping business is going well, manually, you rarely get as great discounts or any discounts. And also, as a single seller or a small business, it's really hard to manage your account. You have to keep logging in, have to deal with cancellations, customer support. They explain all that here. They do this for you, and they estimate that you will get up to 20% discounts on all your orders. So not only will they save you a lot of time for established Amazon dropshippers with many orders, it can be hours per day of savings, but they will also save you money. Because when they do it, they buy the products cheaper. And the way it works is, let's say you send them some money, like $1,000. And that $1,000 serves as your balance. And as long as sales keep coming in from Amazon, They will just use your balance to make the orders on suppliers, etc. And right now, they work with one supplier, which is Walmart, but they're going to add suppliers in the future. So again, this doesn't cost you really anything. They take earnings from the money they save you, but they also save you time. So it's really an amazing service, without which there will be just too much manual work and too little profit in the end in many, many cases for many products. So this is a kind of service I strongly suggest trying out. It's amazing that this sort of a thing exists. And just one more great thing about this service is that the more volume you send them, the profitability per item grows for you, because as you do bigger and bigger bulk sales, they're going to be able to offer you bigger and bigger discounts, much of which goes right back into your pocket. In this video, I'm going to give you a strategy to maximize your profits on every sale, and that is with a website like BeFrugal. I'm going to explain to you what this website is. This is an affiliate website that collects affiliate commissions from retailers like Walmart, Target, etc., many others. And to incentivize people to use this website, they give a part of the commission back to the buyer. This would be you. So instead of buying right from Walmart or Target or your direct retailer, you buy from this website and they give you cash back. You see, they say up to 40% cash back on your purchase. That just means you make more money with every dropshipping sale. Now, the 40% back is a little bit of an exaggeration. Most cashback offers are much lower than that, but still pretty good. So let's go over how to use this. So when you come here, you will sign up. You just enter your email. It will create a password and say continue with email. You can also sign up with Gmail. And when you sign up, you see they explain how it works. They'll give you automatic coupons that you can activate for cash back. And you see on their homepage, when you scroll down, you can see all the retailers they work with and how much you can get in cash back, like 5% from Sephora, up to 13% from Macy's, all these really well-known brands, which is really great and actually gives you a starting point from if you want to see what kind of products do you want to resell, and there's millions of products you can resell. Well, you can start to resell products with some of the highest cashback, like for example, 6% cashback on Walgreens. That's pretty good. Also, up to 13% on Macy's. That's great, right? That's actually significant. Sam's Club up to 18%, Home Depot 8%. There's quite significant here. So what you would do is, let's say Walmart. You'll go to Walmart and you'll see, okay, here are some coupons on patio and garden. Okay, and you'll get this coupon, and it redirected me right to the Walmart website. And of course, there's an affiliate URL here, so they can track that the sale is going to be made. And you can see that in this category, the products are pretty expensive. And then from here, you can find the product that you want to dropship, the one that you're actually selling on Amazon. If you get a sale on Amazon, you come here through BeFrugal, and BeFrugal will give you an extra few percent back. In this case, 6% back. So it's really simple. The only difference really is that instead of buying right from the retailer, you first go to BeFrugal, and then from BeFrugal, you click on to that retailer from which you'll be buying anyway, and BeFrugal will just send you a little bit more cash so that you can maximize your profit. Also, you will notice that they have many online coupons. You see some of the coupons, you got to scroll a little bit because some of these are just very regular percent back that you would get. But look at this. Here's an interesting coupon. You see this Frugal 20 from this brand, ATM, and Anthony Thomas Millittle. I don't really know this brand, but you see that if you sell something for over $300, that is their product, they'll add on a 20% discount. 20% of $300, that's $60. To add $60 on top of any transaction, that can be quite significant. That's plus your original profit margin that you get from Amazon and plus the 9% cashback here. So 20% plus the 9% cashback, it's almost 30% cashback if you find any products of this brand. Now, it doesn't have to be only this brand. You see here 15% off site-wide in Kohl's. Okay, extra 15%. So you would add coupons on top of the cashback, and it will get you plenty, because you can see up to 20, 30, even sometimes up to 40% extra savings that you get when you buy the inventory, buy the products. So this can be quite significant in increasing your profits.